Okay, sorry for the interruption. So basically you will be having two different two different videos for the labs. So make sure that you go through both of them, because in this particular video, I'm going to start from second one. Okay. So let's see what the second program is talking about. Adding and displaying records. So Midnight Coffee Records is a small company that imports raw coffee beans from around the world and roasts them to create a variety of gourmet coffees. Julie, the owner of the company, has asked you to write a series of programs that she can use to manage her inventory. After speaking with her, you have determined that a file is needed to keep the inventory records. Each record should have two fields to hold the coffee data, to hold the following data. Description, a string containing the name of the coffee, quantity. So the number of pounds as a floating point number. So we do know that we are having the item is related to coffee, so that is a record, and it has two fields: description, that is the name of the coffee, and then the quantity in pounds that is present in the inventory. Your first job is to write the program that can be used to add the records to a file. Note that the output file is opened in the append mode. Each time the program is executed, the new records will be added to the existing contents. Okay. So okay, cool. So let's do this. Are we also displaying the records? No, it's not asked in the question, but let's also display the records, okay? So this is adding the records. I'm creating define main two. And then here, number of records is equal to input into the total number of records. Next, let's open the file that is out file is equal to open file. Let's just name it coffee.txt in append mode, as that's what it said, the question said. So now we are going to add this record information into the file. So let's use, we can use a for loop, or if we want, we can also use a while loop. So let's just use a for loop for now. So for n in range of number of records. Yeah, basically number of records. Then you're going to write all to the file, out file dot write. First thing is the name, which we must get from the user. So now let's say name is equal to input. Oh. So we are not basically getting the name right here. As this is a record, it's a field of information. So what we must do is input, enter description or name. I think I was in the right direction. I don't know why I got confused. And then now let's write this name. Let's use \n directly. And then it is asking for quantity. So quantity is equal to quantity can be floating point. Yep, that's what the question said. So float input in pounds. Now again, out file dot write. As quantity is a numerical number, we have to convert that into a string. I had capital Q for some reason. Don't know why. Plus, let's do this. Just want to do this so that you'll know both the techniques. Yep. Now you have written that. That's being written for all the total number of records. Then that's it. Close the file. For the main do function. Let's execute this one. What did I do? Unexpected character after continuation. This is a string. Okay, so unless it's a string directly, we cannot use that. So unless you have this name inside the quotes, you cannot use the previous method. It's good to know. Pre-records description, let's say brew, quantity in pounds is 56. Second record information, Starbucks, say 45. Code city Java, let's just not do it. That's it. Now, if you open the folder, you should see coffee.txt with the descriptions and their quantities. Now let's work on calling the function. So I'm just calling this to A, commenting this. So let's define to B, which is basically to print the contents of that file. So print the records, displaying the records. Yep. So I'm just going to create the variable. In file is open. File name coffee.txt with read mode. And then let's use the while loop because earlier we have used the for loop. I don't want to use the for loop. So line 1 is the name. So I'm just going to define that as name is equal to in file dot read line, which is a string, and that is a name. So while name is not equal to empty string, then let's convert the quantity into float. Float of in file dot read line, which is the quantity according to our file. So next, print description, not Annie, it's name. And then let's print quantity to make this loop incomplete or not in make this loop finite, we should all again read the next line to make the condition false. Next, close the file. So in file, close main to be. I don't know why. I'm just not feeling it today. Okay, so see the mistake that I have done? I did not remove the \n. That is from the name and also from the description. So let's remove the \n. So name is equal to name.r strip \n. Something with quantity, I don't think it's needed. For description, it is required. Okay. Yep. That's the contents from our file. Whatever we have entered here, we see the same values here. Okay, so that's 2b is also done. Let's start with the third one. Third one is basically searching for a record. Julie has been using the first two programs that you wrote for her. She has now several records stored in the coffee.txt and has asked you to write another program that she can use to search for the records. She wants to be able to enter a description and see a list of all the records matching that description. So what are we going to get from the user? Description. So if that is a match to the existing record, then we display that information using the description. So define main3. And also in this case, let's use the flag variables. I mean, I remember that I have discussed this flag variables in the past, but I have not, shown a demonstration using the same. So let's use that too. Okay, so define main3, and then let's use the flag variables. So I'm just going to say found is set to false first, and then search is the data that I'm asking the user to enter. So enter the, let's just call it description. Okay. So let's open the file. In file is equal to open the file in the read mode, because we are only going to read the contents. We are not going to make any changes to the contents. Now let's say name is equal to in file dot read line. That is the first line from our file, which we know that's a description. So while name is not equal to an empty string, convert the quantity back into float. Name in file dot read line. You will see a lot of overlap from the previous code, because that's how this is. Name is in file dot read line again. Now if name is equal to search, then in that case, print description name, print quantity. And then let's just print an empty line. Now, else close the file. I'm thinking if do we need the flag variables as of now, because we're not changing anything. And we are not checking with that flag as well. So I don't see the need for that. But I did miss something that I did miss. Name is equal to intFile.readline. Next intFile.close. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove the statement altogether, and it is not setting that to true anywhere. So line 3. Yep. Oh. You know what we could do is, instead of having the else block right here, I can have the found variable. I'm going to use that found variable. And then after the while block, I can have a statement if not found. So found is false. So if not found is, it's true. So if true, then print record not found. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I'm not sure. Enter the descriptor into search. Let's stay bro. Could not convert string to float. Why? First line is this, second is a description. Is that because of the new line? No. It is still reading PCJ. Why is it reading? This is the first line. This is the second line from our file. This is the third line from our file. Why did I have it this here? Yeah. Why did I have this here? So I'm reading the fourth line as my quantity. That's the reason why it got screwed up. It says brew and it says record not found. So that's not good. So if we find the record, let's just set the found to true. Yeah, okay. So I first set the found flag variable to false, and if the match is set, then I'm changing it to true. Otherwise, I'm creating another if block and I'm having that as false. Let's search for a different condition. Let's say I'm just going to call this Nescafe. It says record not found. That is good because there is no existing record called Nescafe. So with that, we are done with searching the records. Let's move on to the fourth one. I think that's modifying the record, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Julie is very happy with the programs that you have written. Your next job is to write a program so that she can modify the quantity field in an existing record. So quantity field. So you're first looking for the record. If there is a match, then you're updating the quantity. Otherwise, you will just say no such quantity or no such record has been existing. This will allow her to keep the records up to date as coffee is sold or more coffee of an existing type is added to the inventory. To modify a record in sequential file, you must create a second temporary file. Okay, yeah, you copy all of the original file records to the temporary file, but when you get to the record that is to be modified, you do not write its old contents, but you are going to write the new updated contents into the temporary file. Instead, you write its new modified values. Yeah, then you finish by copying any remaining records from the original file to the temporary file. The temporary file then takes place of the original file. You delete the original file and rename the temporary file, giving it the name of the original file had on the computer's disk. Here is the general algorithm. This may look, lengthy or something, but it's not. Trust me. We're just going to create 2 new files. That's it. I'll show you how to do that as well. So open the original file for input and create a temporary file for output. That's how. Then get the description of the record to be modified. So you're basically performing the third program again, searching for the record, and add the new value for the quantity. So if there is a match, then get the quantity from the user and update that quantity to the temporary file. Read the first description from the original file. While the description field is not empty, read the quantity field. If this field matches the description entered, write the new data to the temporary file. Else, write the existing record to the temporary file. Read the next description file, close the original file in the temporary file, delete the original file, rename the temporary file in the name and of the original file. Okay. So we have also have this rename and remove functions. So that is by using the Python standard library OS modules provides the function called remove, which deletes files on the disks. You simply pass the name of the file as an argument. So remove coffee.txt. The OS module also provides a function .rename. So rename old file, like the old name, new name. Okay. And you must notice that we are going to use the OS module. So it's a standard library. So let's see how we do that. Do we do that by importing the module? I was just not sure, but yeah, I'm just going to confirm that. Okay, so we import the OS module, and then let's define our main 4. And in the main 4, basically, let's copy the code from 3 because it's almost the same thing. Let's just make some changes as we go. So found a set of false, search and in file is coffee.txt r. Then out file is open a temporary file. So I'm just going to call as temp.txt and write, because we are going to write the contents to the temporary file. Yes. And then name is the first line. So while name, and if you are getting confused with name and description, both are the same. So if you do not want to get confused, you can just use description here. I'm just going to keep the name because I already have it like that. So name is the infile.readline. So which is the first line from our coffee.txt, which is the description. This remains the same, r strip quantity if name is equal to search. So instead of printing stuff, let's update the quantity for that description. So get the quantity from the user. So let's just call it new quantity is equal to float input. Enter the new quantity. And then let's write this new quantity and the description to the temporary file. So that is out file dot write name plus \n and out file dot write quantity, that is new quantity plus \n. So now, oh, total mistake. Spelling for right is wrong. Right is wrong. Okay, cool. Sorry, poor joke. So name and quantity are written. So now we can set the flag to true. And we can use the else block according to the statements here. And instead of printing record not found, what we are going to do is we are going to write the existing records to the temporary file. So we are going to take these two and then I'm going to paste them here. And here instead of new quantity, it will just be quantity. Yeah. Right? So if that is a match, then the new quantity along with the description is being written into the file, new file or the temporary file. If it is not a match, then the original contents, like the name and quantity, are written to the temporary file. I think that's what I have. And just a mistake that I did is quantity is in numerical data, so I just have to convert that into new quantity into string as well. Okay, so you have string new quantity and also string quantity. Okay, cool. So we have done that. So I don't think we'll need this. We also set the flag to true. Now we are closing the input file. Let's also close the output file. And now we have to remove the old file and rename the new file with the old file's name. So what I'm going to do is os.remove, which is going to give the file name coffee.txt. And next os.rename here temp.txt with coffee.txt. But we should also let the user know if the search was successful or not, right? So let's say if found, print file has been updated. Else print record not found. Yeah, now let's call main 4. I think I have everything right. If something's wrong, then we'll figure it out. Let's say brew. The previous quantity was 56. Now let's make it 45. I think I already have something. So 85. File has been updated. Cool. So, now let's display the records. That is 2B, right? 2B is basically just displaying the records, and that is also in the R mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to comment fourth program, and then I'm going to execute the second program, just so we can look at the updated quantity of brew. Earlier it was 56, now it is 85. Okay. And this change will also be done in the coffee.txt file here. It's 85. Cool. Okay, now let's go back to this and search with something that is not existing in our record. So like I did earlier, I'm going to make Nescafe, says record not found, which is good. So our program's working and everything, it's good. Let's take a look at the last one. Deleting records. Your last task is to write a program that Julie can use to delete records from the coffee.txt file. Like the process of modifying a record, the process of deleting a record from a sequential access file requires you to create a second temporary file. You copy all of the original records to the temporary file, except for the record that is to be deleted. The temporary file takes place of the original file. You delete the original file and rename the temporary file, giving it the name of the original file and on the computer's disks. So it's basically entirely same as the fourth one. Only thing is, if name is equal to search, we are going to delete that record. And then if it is not equal to search, we are going to write the original contents to the temporary file. That's it. Okay. So open the original file, input and create temporary file, get the description, read the description. While the description is not empty, read the quantity field. Oh, so we are using the while here. Oh, we were using while. Okay, read the quantity field. If this record description does not match the description entered, write the record to the temporary file. Read the next description field. Close the original file and the temporary file, delete the original file, rename the temporary file, giving it name of the original file. So again, we are going to use the OS import module. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the fourth program, make changes to that, and that will be our fifth program. You must be thinking that I'm lazy. In a way, I am. No regrets there. So it's fifth one. Found is set to false. And enter the description to search. No, let's say. Also, in that case, like, we could just say modify, just so that we could feel the essence of the program. So I'm just going to say delete. Okay. And I have coffee.txt in the write mode, temporary.txt in the read and write modes. Reading the first line, stripping it, changing the quantity. If name is equal to search, if there is a match, we delete it. So that is by using os.remove. Okay, so if name is equal to search, okay, let's follow the algorithm that's provided here. So if the record's description does not match the field, write the data to the temporary file. So instead of checking for equal to, let's check for not equal to. Then we are going to write the data or the normal or the original data into the new file. And then setting the Okay, so if there is a match, then if there is not a match, then we are copying the contents to the file, and then you are reading the next description field. So in the else block here, we are not writing anything into this. We are just setting the flag to true. Then reading the next line, in file close, os.remove, os.rename. If found, file has been updated. If not found, file is record not found. So it's all the main 5 functions. So just so we take the visual look. So now we have brew, Starbucks, PCJ, 85, 45, and 78. So when I execute this program, and let's say that I want to delete PCJ. So I can just enter PCJ, file has been updated. So now when you go to the same file, you should not see PCJ. You only see brew Starbucks. Okay. So now let's execute something with a record name that's not present. It says record not found. That's it. Yep. That is the end of your lab 5. So when you are making the submission, you don't have to include the txt files, just submit your .py file. That is enough. If you have any questions on this lab assignment, reach out to me. And you also have your programming assignment due. So work on chapter 5 and chapter 6 programs. Also, you have a quiz that is also due, I think on 11th. So yeah, work on that as well. See you guys in the next video. Bye.